This is the story of a man named Fern. Fern worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 777. Employee number 777's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 777 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. Yes. You too will become quite unbearable. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one Stanley Parable adventure line had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say, Stanley was fat and ugly and really stupid. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Fern found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped into the broom closet. But there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. All of his co-workers were... Wait, no, this isn't the right office, is it? Is this Fern's office? All of his Stanleys were gone. What could it mean? Fern had decided to go to the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. This was not the correct way to the Stanley Parable Adventure Line, and Fern knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Fern took the first open door on his left. Wow, yes, this room. A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that? You see, the line knows where the story is. That's because the line knows where the story isn't.
By subtracting where it is from where it isn't, or where it isn't from where it is, whichever is greater, it obtains a difference or deviation.
Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood. Cut the music. Go back and look at that fern. This fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything. Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart. All right. I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the story. Here it comes. Now this, well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417? Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful? Fern. Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Fern. But of course, in the final game, this button will say Jim, whatever name that is. Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons, but I'm undecided on this machine is activated and turn the controls off. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. This machine is activated. It is. Come now. You've already made your choice. It's true that you chose badly, but we all have to move on from our mistakes. Fern stood for a long time in one spot. It's part of a game. He likes to see how long he can go without dying. So far, he's doing excellent. And if he just stays right where he is, I'm sure he'll keep up that good momentum. Let's observe the genius at work.
"Farewell,"
Fern.
cried the narrator. In a single visceral instant,
Fern.
was obliterated, killing him instantly.
What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see?
And yet it would be just a few minutes before
Fern.
would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
I'm trying to make a point here, Fern. I'm trying to get you to see something.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that
Fern
was already dead from the moment he hit start?
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Fern. Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. Fern stepped out of his office, and Fern was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something he would never quite forget. Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. You're not Fern. You're Stanley. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices, and to think I've been letting you run around in this story of a man named Fern. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. I'm going to stop the game for a moment. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
What is choice? What is comedic choice? It's the best part of being a...
Stanley.
How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is, but it can also be the most dangerous. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while forgetting how to read. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating which choice would you make in spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh. And remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is dunny with the funny. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "I'm dunny with the funny." Excellent. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, just remember to let them stop laughing at some point. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. When Stanley came to the Stanley Parable adventure line, he entered the door on his left. He entered the door on his left. He entered the door on his left. But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Stanley waited. Stanley waited. Stanley waited. Here it comes. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle. If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. Hell, I could counter. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with 30 new content. This is what happens when video game developers, with respect for their fan base, rush at expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. Psst! Stanley! In the vent! I want to show you something. Wow. Yes, this room. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Fern, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. Can you feel it? Rushing despair must already be sweeping through your body. Does anyone give out awards for most bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already. I can see you've gotten the bumpscosity. Achievement, well done. Fern picked up the bucket. No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no Stanleys past this point. Fern, how could you think it was okay to bring the Stanleys here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a Stanley and what isn't a Stanley? Which, if that's true, well, my goodness. I think we have to do something about it. Please, step in here for a moment. Item 1. Is this a Stanley? Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that Stanley is of nothing when we both clearly know that a Stanley is something. And therefore nothing could possibly be something. Could possibly be Stanley. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all Stanleys from the game entirely. Okay, here we go. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not Stanleys